Welcome back. I really didn't want to do this video today, but I forced myself to set up the camera. Set up my phone on the tripod and press record anyway, so here we are. I have no clue what to talk about, so why don't we talk about perspectives? It is important to understand your perspective and others as well. Why? Because understanding your perspective and others will allow you to have a grasp on the situation. And knowing and having the grasp on the situation will allow you to know what to do, make the right decision. A lot of people act before they really get the chance to understand another person. An example of this is, from your perspective, you're right. You're arguing about a certain topic. I need a tangible example here. Let's say you're arguing about a subjective topic, right? How oranges are better than apples, okay? From your perspective, you have grown up with oranges. All the oranges you've ever had were super sweet, super delicious, super juicy, right? You've never had a bad experience with an orange. Apples to you are just meh. They've never been super crunchy. They've never been super sweet. Most of the time they're bland. And that's a biased perspective. But that's your perspective, right? And you're arguing with someone who's always had perfectly crispy, perfectly crunchy apples, perfectly juicy, red, green, whatever the fuck, right? And in his entire life, or their entire life, my bad, all the oranges they've ever had were bland, dry. Some had a little rotten flavor to them. Like, it happens when you leave them out for too long, let them over ripen. But yeah, like a rotten alcoholic flavor type. So you know what? I'm just gonna use he, him pronouns for this. So he's arguing with you that apples are better than oranges. You're arguing with him that oranges are better than apples. It takes one to open up your eyes and understand the other's perspective. Say, why don't you like oranges? And he should ask you, not always, why don't you like apples? You'll tell them, I've never had a good apple. And he said, I've never had a good orange. Now, that's how the argument gets escalated even further. You gotta explain it. The apples I've had were never really crunchy, they were never really juicy, and overall flavorless. Then you drop the bomb on him and say, also oranges give you vitamin C and more nutrients in general. Boom, you win the argument. But he says, I've never had a good orange. Every time I've had an orange, it had a slight alcoholic taste, and it was always dry. Never had a really sweet orange, and you guys become best friends, and you're like, what? You've never had a really sweet orange? What? You've never had a really crunchy apple? And you share each other's fruits, and then everyone makes up, and everyone lives happily ever after. That is why you should understand the other's perspective before you make any final decisions. Whole bunch of yap today, but I guess this video has a very clear message, right? Stay open-minded, keep an open mind, and always be willing to hear others out. Even if the thing they did was very bad. Anyways, Thank you guys for listening, and have a good night.